I feel like a pool ball that you're about to line up.
That's awesome.
Hi. All right. So I don't have like an intro or anything to these, which I guess like I should come up with eventually, but I kind of just I sit down and talk with people.
I love it.
I've prepared some questions for you, Susie.
I have not prepared any answers, but I will get there.
That's how I like it.
Awesome.
So I think people should know that I've refused to let you have a conversation with me up until this point in case you accidentally revealed anything about yourself that could have been more entertaining for this conversation. So I know nothing about you. This is blank slate.
Awesome.
Here we go. Off the bat.
Tell me.
You have a New York City area code. Where are you from?
I do.
Originally?
I am originally from the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Okay, bougie.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
You could have just said from New York, but you said that, which means that you want to reveal.
Oh, no. I did not.
you-
Actually did not. Fuck me. Can I curse on this thing?
Yeah.
No, I'm from New York, but I thought that was implied because of my New York area code.
Yeah.
I'm from the city.
Yeah.
And by the city, I mean Manhattan.
Okay. Not the city
Do
of
that
Buffalo.
again. No, not the city of Buffalo. I am from New York City.
Okay, cool.
Manhattan proper.
So what brought you to Chicago?
I went to school in Evanston. I went to Northwestern, and then I moved into the city after college. And I have lived there ever since.
What made you stay there? Like, did you feel like you found a community there, or like you fell in love with the city, or what? Because personally, I moved to Chicago for college, and I came right back. I was like, I hate this place.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So what was your experience?
You know, it was just after COVID. It was like still very much during that time, and I had spent, so 2020 was my junior year of college, and I had gone home to be with my family, and I had just spent so much time in quarantine with them, and by the time I graduated college, I was like, you know what? I would love to maybe do something a little bit different if I hadn't had spent so much time with them, like just for the sake of wanting to feel like an adult, I think. I had friends who were moving into Chicago, and I said, okay, I'll give this a shot. That sounds really great. And then I just kept living here or there.
So have you had a chance to experience like what it's like being an actual like working and practicing musician in New York City, or has it mostly been in Chicago?
You know, it's mostly been in Chicago. My first show that I ever played out was at Mercury Lounge, actually. And a friend of a friend had called because their opener had dropped out of the show. And I had just, like, my final project in college was debuting a lot of music that I just kind of had around and hadn't done anything with. And so I played here for my first, like, public show ever. But that has always been what my music life has looked like here, like just kind of coming in for gigs and working with some people. But in terms of actually, you know, learning about my sound and meeting other people and building up a band and like learning to audio engineer and now being that, like all of that has been in Chicago.
Well, I was gonna maybe ask you if you could compare the two music scenes, but it sounds like you don't really.
Yeah, ask me to do that.
It's Chips Ahoy or Oreos, right? You got to pick.
I find that question way easier.
So, okay, this is a cliche question.
Okay.
It's very hard to answer.
Okay.
But tell me about your style, because for me, just as a casual listener,
Yeah.
it's definitely a blend of like jazz, pop, neo, soul. I can't honestly quite put my finger on it, but even for example, You're in My Head, right?
Yeah.
That evokes a lot of like almost like 90s R&B to me, right? And so I feel like from song to song, you definitely jump. There still remains like a quality of like soul in your voice and an influence of jazz, but
For sure.
what do you find yourself creating? How does it even differ from song to song? Like, does it matter like what emotion you're feeling, or?
I think yes. I think I would definitely say across the bat, like the lyrics of my songs will often lead me to experiment in different genres and soundscapes. I think that I kind of also have a hard time describing my sound in one singular genre because, as you mentioned, the influences come from all over. Like I grew up in and around the theater, and also I studied opera in high school, and jazz in high school, and I went on to do a lot of different pop-specific, folk-specific, soul, neo-soul-specific, like, vocal stylings, and I grew up listening to a range of musicians, and all of that really came into play when I started writing music. And I would say that over the past 2 years or so, I've really started to take a dive in the production elements of things, and that has brought in a whole host of other, I don't know, other shapes that my sound has taken. So I would describe it as a combination of all the things, which is not a super definitive answer. But I know that I'm continuing to figure out what specifically that is, other than just being like, the sound or influences of Susie McCollum and what that looks like as I get older.
Did I get close at least?
Yeah.
Like, did I? Okay.
For sure.
All right. Because, I'm sure it's just as weird. It's like someone describes, your music seems to be X, Y, Z, and you're like, no, not at all.
No,
That's not
all
what
of
I'm
those
going for.
were right. Sorry, I just hit the table with my
Sorry,
knee.
Michael.
All of those were totally right. Sorry, Michael. I hit the table. And so it just kind of starts to expand beyond that as well. Because, like, my real, like, the way that I kind of, the references I use to describe to strangers is, like, Joni Mitchell, Norah Jones, and Amy Winehouse. And also, like, peppered in with listening to a lot of, like, Ella Fitzgerald and Stevie Wonder and growing up with the Beatles, like,
it's funny because
finding my way into all of that is...
I don't think if you put those people in a room, they'd actually get along.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Even the first
I'd
three
hope
that you
so.
mentioned, like before you even brought in the Beatles, you just mentioned the first three. I was like, yes, but also I don't think those three could write together.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think that they're all pretty, like, set and independent in their styles, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I am sort of like, I like what you did here. I like what you did here. I like what you did here. Janice Ian is also a huge influence of mine. And she was kind of running through the 60s and 70s and even to now, just making up her own sound as it went. The album Between the Lines was really formative for me and thinking outside the box on, like, how to build songs production-wise too. So,
do you self-produce?
I do. I work with an amazing producer, JG, out of Chicago. Joe.
We know JG.
We know JG.
We know JG.
He's the best. Shout out, Joe. We love you. And he and I have been working together since I moved to Chicago. And so he's, like, very much a co-producer on all of my stuff and has helped really take what I hear in my head and can, like, sing vocally and arrange vocally, and I love doing that, and giving other instruments an opportunity to run with those ideas and really build out an arrangement, which has been super, super sick.
So you primarily perform solo. Yeah. Do you have
Yes.
like a band, or do you just, like, hit up certain session performers when you have shows coming up?
I
or-
do have a band that I have really only played, like, one full show with, and I have another one in March in Chicago, which is going to be awesome. And my homie KB, who's a bassist in Chicago and also just, like, one of the best if I can do it, he has helped bring a band together for me, and I love all those guys so much. They're really, really, really talented. So I work with them.
Have you experienced yet, like, writing and creating from scratch with a band, or is
No.
you still in that process?
I'm
just
still
bringing
in
it to
that
them?
process,
Do you
yeah.
think are you looking forward to that experience, or are you someone who's deeply, like, in their own head and in their own process?
I would love to have a band. Like, I would love to work and collaborate with folks and build something from the ground up. I think that would be so fruitful, and just one, like, I love working with other people, so there would be that element that's great, and also just, I think, musically would be such a different way of building songs, and that really interests me.
And on this note, bouncing off of
Yes.
you, getting more into the production side of things, you're an audio engineer by trade. Like, how did that come about?
Totally. So I graduated. I've never gone to school for it. I've now, like, really invested time in, the school of YouTube and a bunch of other stuff like that. But I was looking for a job, and I knew Rick Fritz, who was the lead audio engineer at the time at Audio Tree Studios in Chicago, because I would go in college and like record demos that nobody's ever heard and that nobody ever will ever hear ever.
Do you want to send it to us?
No, thank you.
Okay.
But thank you for asking.
Yeah.
And he was looking for an intern, and I was kind of talking about how I was looking for a job, and it just ended up being right place, right time. And I'm a fast learner, and I was like, I would love to learn this from you because I think it's really important that, non-men learn how to do that and are given access to that side of the music business and the music world. And so I was like, cool, I can learn, and then I can teach other people, and that would be really, really sick. And so now I have really fallen in love with it and do that freelance for myself and also for others. But sometimes when I'm doing it for myself, I'm like, I need another pair of ears because this is so much of me in my ears all the time. Yeah. But yes, I do really
it's
love
funny.
that part of my work.
My follow-up question was going to be like, which one was it? Did you always know you were interested in being an audio engineer, or are you a musician who kind of had to learn by doing? Because that's honestly the most, very rarely do I speak to anyone who knew from the start that they wanted to get into it. And it's almost always like, well, I had to learn by doing because this is the world that we're in.
It was definitely that. It was definitely, I had been, working on my own as a musician, and I was honestly, I wasn't sure if it was something that I could do by means of whatever conversation my brain was having with myself of like, this isn't something that, you'd be very good at or whatever. There was just a lot of stuff in my way. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I went, this is going to be really, really fucking hard. And I think that it's important that I learn how to do it for both my own, for both being able to articulate and get specific on what I needed in my music if I was working with other people. Like, call it my theater background, but I believe that you should be able to at least have worked. You should try to have worked a part of somebody's job if you're on a set, or if you're in a, if you're in a show, or if you're, performing at a gig or whatever. Like, having an understanding of what everybody in the room does, I think is really, really important. And so at the very least, I was like, I need to understand how this works so that I can advocate for myself.
Yeah.
And then I went, okay, I actually understand how this works. And I love working with other people to help them advocate for themselves and also help their music come to be. And I just really ended up being quite surprised along the journey of, oh, I really like this. And how cool it's given me a total other language to explore, like, as a musician on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so take that knowledge, take that language, judge our setup. How would you rate our setup today, and what would you have changed? Backseat drive.
Suddenly I have to leave. I have somewhere else to go. So this has been really, really fun. Thank you so much for having me. No, I think you guys do a great job in here. I've had the best time. And you're very, very knowledgeable and have set the room up for what it knows it can be. And I think you've done a great job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm curious, now that you've been working behind the scenes at Audio Tree for as long as you have, what's it like for you being on the other side of it, albeit at a much smaller scale, right? Because we talked a little bit, I let you speak to me a little bit earlier about how you don't often perform live sessions, you perform a lot of live shows.
Yes.
Right? But yeah, what's it like being on the flip side for you?
Different. I kind of walked in thinking, this will be fine, this will be simple. And then there were cameras on me and I said, oh, this is not. You've really, kind of oversimplified it, which I think is good. It just is a reminder that it's a different muscle that needs to be worked, whether that is like actually doing more or pretending I'm doing one in like my bedroom to get used to something filming me at all times. I'm not quite sure. But it's been really cool. It took me a second to get into it, I think, but it's felt very nice. And you've created a very warm and lovely environment. So
thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine, because I do feel a bit like we're swinging above our weight class by even having you here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, but thank you.
Well, because you regularly work on, and granted, on the other side of it, you regularly are on the other desk.
Fair.
for much bigger setups, much
Sure.
bigger bands, much, bands with much more notoriety, right? So it does feel a little bit like I'm inviting you into my rinky-dink little, like,
There's nowhere else I'd
pieced
rather
together.
be. Genuinely. Like a setup like this and a session like this is my bread and butter. I love a chill acoustic, really intentionally like interpersonal
Me too.
session, afternoon, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of that. Yeah, that's our whole ethos. And don't get me wrong, like we've done larger setups, like for example, with Jake in Chicago.
Yeah.
For his
Shout out
band.
Jake.
Shout
Love
out,
you,
shout out
Jake.
Maiden King.
Yes.
So we did a larger
him
setup with
out.
Maiden King, and it fit the vibe that we were going for, which was like the 20-foot wall of vintage TVs, and the
So
drums are
cool.
smashing, and it was
So
sick.
cool.
But at the end of the day, no shade to Jake. At the end of the day, the songs I'm still going to connect with most are the ones that are much more intimate and stripped back. And maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know, But
For sure.
I find, first, I'm genuinely fans of everyone that we bring on here. And I say this a lot, but part of that is like, no one pays us to do this. So
Yeah.
we're not going to sit down and listen to this over and over and over again and mix it and edit it and distribute it and like not like the song or the person. So
Yeah. Hell yeah.
but that being said, I find that the ones that are like brain demons in my head the most that I can't get out of my head are so often just like someone in their guitar or someone
Yeah.
in their keys. And yeah, I don't know. It could be a me thing, but I'm definitely biased towards those more intimate acoustic. There's nowhere for you to hide. It's just you and your guitar right here.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for you to hide. What are you gonna tune it behind?
Exactly.
I don't know.
I also like, Abigail is a song that I played today, and that is out, and there's a whole really cool production that I'm very proud of, that JG and I worked very hard on, but it sounds very different from an acoustic version, and I love playing it acoustically. I just think that there's something so special about just hearing a musician get up there and just, if it's just in one instrument, you're also like, you're just singing from your heart. Those words are clear. And I'm always very, very drawn to that.
Well, tell me a bit about Abigail, actually, because I did have a couple questions just about that song,
Yeah,
the meaning
totally.
behind it, what it evokes. I mean, I do
Yeah.
feel like Abigail, different from what I've experienced from listening to your other songs, because you actually made my 2025 top songs,
my God.
Spotify Wrapped. But different from what I've heard from your other songs, Abigail actually did feel like a narrative story
Yeah,
to
totally.
me. So I'd love to hear what that is about.
So everyone's always like, who's Abigail?
Who is
To
she?
which I say, who isn't? Aren't we all? And also, I have been so interested in, I feel, well, the older you get, the more you realize everyone's just like sort of children still, right? And most people don't really know what the fuck's going on. And I, unless you know exactly what the fuck's going on.
I mean, I know a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I think I know more than most people, but
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the same, I suppose. And also, I think there's a really interesting, like, I graduated college, I was living on my own, and I was very much in a space of the feeling I need to flee. I need to run away. I need to get rid of my responsibilities, which is silly because I don't really have that many in the grand scheme of life. But trying to find your home and where you belong and what you want to do and where you want to be and all of these things that are so clear when you're in school. At least this is my experience of when you're in school. Okay, I need to get to the next thing, to go to the next place and whatever. And I was I'm an eldest daughter. This is super. We were talking about being type A, type B. I was super type type A growing up. I'm now super type B. But like.
B is for burnt out, it sounds like.
Yes, it is. Thank you. But Abigail, one, I really like the way that it sings. I really like the what's that called?
Melody?
The melody, but the way that it's spelled, like I like pronouncing it phonetically.
Like phonetically,
yes.
yeah.
And so that's just kind of an arbitrary name that I decided on. But the story is very much, okay, how do you build a sense of self and security and home as an adult when it's not really enforced for you in any which way? And sometimes that feels like you really want to run away, and maybe you come back to yourself, but kind of also making sure that you find not only in other places, but that same sense of home and sense of self and sense of security in your own being. And so it's a song about sort of running away and shedding and coming back and figuring out who you want to be and why.
You know what's really interesting is just as a listener, there are different moments, different points with the song where I go, is this song about a little sister? Is she singing
Yeah.
about an ex-lover? Is this song about a best
Interesting.
friend?
Yeah.
And,
Totally.
you know, I really didn't at any stage in time, it could have been any of the three.
Absolutely,
You know?
it could have been. That always makes me happy because I would love, like, once I've written a song and I'm like, okay, I feel good about what it says for the reasons I've said it. It's now other people's to resonate with them, however it is.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a great deal of me and Abigail as well. Of like, I grew up, as I said, like very on top of my shit and very like, I'm the oldest kid and I have these things. I have to work hard and get these grades and sort of, you know, be the best, or, you know, wear my goody two shoes, etc. That I think I learned to shed over time as well. So I think there's a like feeling the pressure, and it was self-imposed. It didn't really come from my parents or anything, but like, okay, well, if, you know, what people expect of me or what I expect of myself, if I'm not listening to those things of what I feel like I should do or who I feel like I should be, what is left?
Tell me a bit about this, only because you've alluded to it a few times, this theater world you grew up in, because it sounds, I mean, were you part of some kind of like ultra competitive conservatory or like what is the sitch?
No, the sitch is actually very familial. So my whole family is in the arts. And so my mom is a singer and is an actor, and she retired when she had myself and my brother. And my dad is a commercial theater producer, and my brother now works in film. And so we are all, shout out Charlie.
Shout out Charlie. I do know Charlie
Yes.
through some mutuals. Yeah.
Yes, totally. And so like all of my parents also have a network of chosen family, and that was very important to them. So I like grew up with a bunch of people who were all dear, dear friends of theirs who became like aunts and uncles and, you know, godparent-like figures for me. And so everyone was in the arts in sort of different ways, but that was very much a part of my upbringing.
So my brain is now piecing things together because
Tell me.
I was having
Tell
a
me.
conversation, I want to say back in like August or September.
Okay.
For context, Scotland is a huge part of my like heart. I go to Scotland like
Really?
as much as I can. I've
my
been obsessed
God.
with it since I was a childhood. I go pretty frequently. Like Edinburgh is my favorite city in the world.
I've never been.
So
That's so sick.
Lucy,
Yes.
your brother's girlfriend,
Yes.
and my mutual who also works in film. Shout out Lucy. A lot of shout outs here.
Shout out Lucy.
So she had just gotten back from Fringe,
Yes.
and she had shot Fringe with Charlie.
Yes.
And we were talking about how I've always wanted to go for Fringe and
Totally.
yada, yada, yada. And she was mentioning, she was like, oh, we were here because my boyfriend's father works in theater.
Yes.
And he has a lot of like friends here putting on shows. So that's how we got kind of like connect. And now my brain is just like reverse engineering dots.
Yes.
And and I love when that happens because I'm just like, oh my God, like, I don't know. It just makes me feel like I'm suddenly in some way closer to you.
You
like,
are, for sure.
Like, I don't know. Like, I've suddenly learned, whatever. Maybe it's not that deep.
It is that deep. Why can't it be
it's
that
pretty
deep?
It's pretty deep.
We go way back. We've known
I
each
feel
other
like it since August.
Since August.
Since for the Fringe conversation was
Yeah,
had.
exactly. I should also mention that I went to, like, one of my degrees from college is in theater. So then I went on to, like,
one of your
continue to do it.
degrees. One of. Flex.
It's unintentionally. I'm, like, saying things in
How
a
many
way
degrees
that's-
are you?
I have 2.
Oh,
I have 2 degrees.
do you have a PhD?
No, girl.
Are you? Listen.
No.
So as a musician, you're wearing 100 hats, from manager to videographer to make your content to agent, and the list goes on. What do you think is the hardest one for you?
Like, social media stuff.
That's
and
mine
like
too.
promoting myself and content creation and all of that. And I think that I'm trying to change my attitude about it. And it's slowly happening, I think, but it feels very opposite of what it is that I think a lot of creatives have set out to do, which is like connect in person and make shit together. So it can feel really isolating, but on the other hand, it's a really, really powerful tool and it works. And there's, a huge benefit to, having a platform where your art can reach other people quicker and more consistently than if you go around and, go door to door. But I think okay, I'm going to spend a day filming myself singing and doing a bunch of stuff. And then I'm going to spend another day cutting it up and like putting words over it. And then I'm going to post it all on the internet. Like that is a muscle that I have arguably not spent enough time working, but has really like pulling teeth to get me on.
No, I totally understand. I think it's the same. Like for Seawall, at least, my 2 weak points here are 1, social.
Sure.
I don't care for it. I don't think with social first. I can't be active on it. Plus, I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
But it's also the in-person interactions because, 1, I am a huge introvert.
Totally.
I never want to big stretch. Ooh, big stretch. Hi. I never want to leave my house. All socializing should be done remotely. I loved COVID.
Tell me more about that.
I was thriving in the pandemic.
I love that for you.
My dog is here. My video games are here.
True.
My equipment's
That's
here.
true.
My cozy couch is here. I don't want to go anywhere. And every time I leave the house, it costs me money. But all that being said,
that's so relatable.
But all that being said, I know intrinsically that there's so much value every time I go out and I see people at a show and I meet them and I talk to them organically about what we're doing, how I'd love to have them at a session. But I think for me, the hardest points are social.
Yeah.
Both socializing on the apps and in person.
Yeah.
You're
doing great.
Thank you so much.
It's been a joy to be here with you.
I can have these one-on-one conversations. I just can't go to a venue
where come to you.
I can't hear anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why are we screaming? So, question for you. Do you think it's possible to be a successful musician and not be a night owl or an extrovert these days? Because I'd never make it. Like the jam sessions start at 10 p.m. Like I would never make it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like on the one hand, for the actual in-person element of it and like networking part, no. But then there is that whole, thing that we were just talking about called social media. And so like you can make your content and sort of interact with people remotely, your favorite way of socialization, and gain a following kind of low-key through that. So I don't know. My heart tells me no, but I think it depends on what you're looking to do, who you're looking to be. Like success has to probably mean something.
Ooh, that's a whole
different
deeper
to everyone.
combo.
Yeah.
I can't have here at this table.
And I won't actually. So
So back to the 1,000 hats.
Yes.
And on that note, I think it's pretty reductive to just classify anyone as one thing, right? Because there isn't necessarily one dream job or career for people.
Yeah.
So is your end goal music full time, or do you also want to always have your hand in something else? Do you have a shared passion? And it sounds like theater, but I'd love to just.
That's a great question. I have always been somebody who's doing a million things at once. It's pretty in my nature. And it's always been very motivated by wanting to do that. I think maybe as I get older, I will have a different relationship with that because I don't necessarily know if running around the city doing a million things is that sustainable. Mm-hmm. But I am very fortunate to have most of the work that I do be in like music. So it's not necessarily just playing out all the time. And I would love to write music for more people and sort of hone in my, I don't know, like craft a little bit more, which I suppose is a more individual, like straight shot endeavor of like musician, Susie McCollum artist lane. But I can't imagine only doing that. Mm-hmm. because I really, like, I love all the things that I do. So does that answer your question, or did I just restate myself 3 times?
No, I mean, okay. Let me do a fun tangent off of that.
Awesome.
We're 70. We're retired.
Okay. Awesome.
What is your weird, like, I'm retired now and I'm going to pick up this hobby activity?
Oh my gosh. Something crafty. Something, because I also do a lot of
Like
those.
the crafty table, snacks.
No.
Okay.
Like like ceramics or something, like embroidery or something like that, because I do a handful of that in my life as well, like collage artwork. I make trays and cards and a bunch of other stuff. That's like my own little hobby.
Would you open an Etsy shop, or was it?
For sure.
Okay.
I've thought about that so often.
Okay. Because then we're still monetizing the hobbies, right? So it's like,
Oh.
Would it take the joy out of it now?
Well, the thing is, I think that even if I don't make it my full life or forever, even though that is my intention, like, I'm always going to sing. I'm always going to play music. I'm always going to have that in me.
So as a solo artist who primarily writes by herself so far,
Yeah.
I imagine it can get hard to maybe find the motivation to wrap out a project when you don't have the bounce board for ideas, or when you've been working on the same thing for 3 to 6 months, right? Like, how do you, how do you find, what has so far been your, like, I guess motivation, but more so, I don't know, the secret to actually finishing this and finding that you're still happy with the way it comes out after, not letting it get stale for so long, I guess.
I think that the biggest thing for me to learn is, honestly, to not be so precious with the songs or the writing. Like, I did start writing music for therapy purposes. And, like, so it was very private and precious to me in that way, and very specific. And I've taken a lot of those lyrics or ideas and put them into music. The thing that I have learned, and also I think my next batches of songs, Abigail included, like, I've turned them more into, like, creative exercises and ways to sort of expand on, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be completely authentic to my one experience that one time. Like, and if I have more flexibility in the storytelling, maybe it becomes something else entirely, like just letting the song kind of speak where it wants to go, versus me being like, well, it has to be this way because I felt this way and I like this word, and I don't know, less rigid. And I could write a song about an apple if I wanted to, and it would be totally fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be some horrible thing that I need to transform into music so that I process it. I can actually be writing music outside of, pain or grief, and sure, a lot of that still comes through in my music. But I think the biggest thing I've learned is to, like, have fun with it. You've decided you want to do this for the rest of your life. Like, some songs are going to be about an apple, and some songs are going to be about you crying in a corner for 3 hours, and that's going to be fine. 3 hours is a long time, and I was joking.
I was like, oh.
3 hours, that I'm not, but, like, just, having, if I don't have a balance board of different perspectives on a specific song or whatever, just adopting different perspectives on what the song could be has been really huge for me.
So,
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah,
I tried.
Everything you say makes sense.
That is not true.
Here so far in the studio since you've been here.
Awesome. I can get on board with that.
So you have a show coming up.
Yes.
By the time we edit and put this out, it will have been already.
I hope I did well.
Yeah, I hope you did. Yeah, wait, actually, let's do a message to past Susie? Future Susie?
Past and future.
Is it future? No, it's future.
If it's for my show, future. If it's
anyway,
the show will have happened, it's past. I don't know. Here's a message for Susie. At whatever time she receives it. Okay, just kidding. We're going to have to wait for the message. Steph, we're on a podcast. This is very serious.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You go, girl. Susie, I hope. Susie, keep it up.
So,
Yeah.
so by the time we edit and put this out, the show will have happened.
Yes.
But I'd love to know just, you're Chicago-based and you are more embedded in the music scene in Chicago. So
Yes.
what makes you, how do you decide when it's the time to just pop over and do a New York show? Because it seems like you do them, I don't know, at least once a year or
I
so?
haven't done one in a long time,
Okay.
actually. I think it's been a couple years since I've been back.
Oh, okay.
And the artist who I'm opening for, Stella Prince, she and I did a show together like a couple of years back. And this is part of her tour into New York. And so she gave me a ring. And she was like, would you be able to do this? And I said, yes. So honestly, right now, it's mostly on like sharing a bill and, flying in. I'm very lucky that I've had other things like also I've been meaning to come back to New York for, and I've been able to put it all into one trip, this included. But I would love to have I don't think I've played like a Susie McCollum solo show in this city before. So that's definitely on my list of things to return for. Yeah.
Well, tell me what's coming up for you aside from the show. What's next? What can people look forward to?
Yeah. Well, excuse me. Hold on. Sorry, bicycle.
Well, it's because no one else is going to get that reference.
I know. You might have to cut that out because I burped. Anyway, what else is next?
I'm sorry. It's just the fact that. Okay, wait. Sorry. It's just that anyone watching.
They're not gonna know. Who's bicycle?
I've watched you
Bicycle is. Oh, you're so right. Actually, you're just gonna hear
and then whisper, "Sorry, bicycle."
It's a fun thing I say to myself.
So what's coming up?
I never want to be social media. I never want to be media coached.
What's coming up for you?
I'm so glad you asked.
It's hot in here.
It's so warm. Thank you for asking. Well, I have a show coming up in March in Chicago at the Epiphany Center for the Arts, which will be really fun. And I'm playing with my full band. So, Chicago, come out. And I am working on a full-length album for the release of fall 2026. So I've just kind of been, it's really awesome to say I spent January really working on stuff. I shot a new music video for my song Operator, which will probably be the next song to roll out. I've like finished 2 new songs that are probably going to make their way onto the album. I have, and those arrangements include trumpets. Those arrangements include strings, like really playing with building out to a fuller extent some of my music, which has felt very creative, obviously, and very playful and fun, kind of what I was alluding to of just letting a song go in a very new direction versus, me and my guitar. I'll still play it on me and my guitar. But just taking different kind of sonic risks, I guess. But they're not really risks. They're just taking new directions, I suppose.
Did you say you shot the music video for yourself? Like, meaning?
I did not shoot the music video.
Okay.
Sorry. I worked with my dear friends, Sally and Rhett, who did my You're in My Head music video, which if you haven't watched, check it out, everyone. Oh, I meant the viewers at home. I had a feeling that you would have watched.
Sorry.
No, but that can include you again. You can watch it again.
I will watch it again.
Awesome. So I love working with them. And so they shot the video.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask you a bunch of questions about what it was like shooting your own music video.
No, I did not do that. I stood there. And Sally directed me beautifully, and Rhett shot the camera beautifully.
Nice.
And we'll see how it goes. So, yeah.
Nice.
So just a very fruitful January of music and, like, actually investing in my work, which has felt really overdue and really, really good. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Plug us. What are your socials? What are your
Oh my
what are your
goodness.
webs your things? Find you at.
Excellent.
Just if you just leave a piece of
It's
candy out at
Susie.
midnight, she'll come.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. You all give me your addresses and I will make an appearance. No. It's my name. It's my name. My socials are my name, which is Susie McCollum, which is SUSIEMCCOLLUM. And that's my Instagram, and that's my Spotify and YouTube. And my Facebook, I think, might be Susie McCollum Music. So that's confusing.
And your Pinterest?
My Pinterest is, no, that's for me. That's for me, babes.
I just have to say, this personality is not what I expected from your music.
That's awesome. I'm so glad.
Which is not meant to be taken in any negative way at all, but just that I would say you make very emotional music,
Yes.
very serious music.
Yes.
And you are incredibly funny and silly.
Thank you. I try.
And for
balance, baby.
For anyone at home or wherever listening, what a true yin and yang artist you are.
Now, I am a Pisces moon, so that's where all that sadness
I don't know
comes
what that
in.
means.
Awesome. I really was not prepared to go in depth about it. It's just something I know
Okay.
to align with my sad music.
Don't go in depth because
won't.
I'll zone out. But
Yes, there's a real duality, multitudes situation.
yeah, I just think
happening.
if you're having trouble with social, I think you got to lean into that. To be honest,
Try to start talking to people. Hey
I just
guys.
think you're genuinely one of the funnier people I've met
Thank you.
in a long time.
That's awesome.
And use that. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Be the silly singer with really serious music.
Okay. S. Silly, serious singer. Susie.
Any
Four
any
S's.
closing words you'd like to give the viewers or Bicycle?
Shout out Bicycle. Just for one more shout out. No, I mean, thank you all for watching. As I say it directly to your face. Thank you all for watching. And check out my stuff. And hopefully I'll come to more cities than just, Chicago and New York and LA. And I'd love to meet you. And this is just the beginning. So it feels really cool to be here. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. I never know how to.
Hello.
That one.